Hello, you guys. Happy New Year. I decided I wanted to record this episode. I'm going to hope my kids stay quiet. They're downstairs. I gave them food and their shows, and I'm like, hopefully they stay quiet so that I can record this for you guys. I had another episode I was going to post, and then I was like, the beginning of the new year, I feel like people want to get clear on what they want. And I kind of wanted to do an episode all about this because I think this is something that I have gotten really good at over the last year of being able to really tap into what is it that I actually want? Like my deepest desires, my deepest wants, my deepest, just like what I want out of this life. And it's also been trying to figure out like how to honestly be unapologetic about that because there's so much out there that makes you feel guilty for wanting what you want. And especially as women, I work with a ton of women, and so many women always tell me everything that they want, and none of it has to do with them. It's about their husband, it's about their kids, it's about their parents, it's about this life they want to live, but it's for everybody else. And it's so rare that I speak to a woman who can tell me what they want for them. And when I do speak to those people, they usually feel like they're like, I know it sounds really selfish. And it's like this, they feel bad. And I'm like, no, the best thing that you can do for everybody else in your life is live your truth and your potential of like what you really want and get crystal clear on the desires that you do want in your life. And it was just like, I don't know, I was just feeling like it was on my heart to just talk through this, help you guys learn how to set intentions. I did a post on my Instagram, so you could have read that, but I wanted to go deeper into it here. I wrote an intention letter to myself last night for 2024. I wrote out a release letter last week during the full moon. Oh my gosh, I was bawling like a crazy person, and just shedding and releasing like everything that has gone on this year. I feel like that's what I was going through. And this week has been heavy since then. And I wanted to say, like, when you're in a transition season or you are shedding stuff and you're finally letting yourself feel and the emotions are coming through, expect, oh, a child found me. Expect to, can you close the door, please? I have it. I need it. I'll give it to you in a minute. Is your show dead? Here, take it. Sorry, guys. I'm like, I'm not stopping this because I don't want to have to edit and put it back together so you guys get to hear real life. Take it, and close the door, please. Thank you so much. What was I just saying? Oh, yeah. So if you're allowing yourself to feel, like, it's going to require heavy feelings. Like you're going to have to move through it. And sometimes it feels like a hangover, like literally an emotional hangover where it is heavy and you don't feel inspired and you don't feel motivated and you don't feel goal oriented and you don't feel like you want to accomplish anything and you don't even feel like you can set intentions because you're just in a low. And that brings me to another point. Like, yes, it's January, but I don't know if you guys have seen this on the internet, how January is not really the new year. And so it makes us feel like it's the new year, but we're still in winter. And in a winter season, typically people don't feel inspired and motivated and like ready to get the ground running. That more happens towards spring. So if you're not feeling like you're in a season of like wanting to take over the world right now, just know you're not alone. It's actually very normal, especially if you're living somewhere in colder climate. It's normal to want to hibernate. And honestly, you guys, I have felt like a bear. Like every night I go to sleep and I don't want to get out of my bed in the morning. I've been sleeping in some days till 9 o'clock. I usually get up at 6:30, but I haven't been able to fall asleep at night. I've been like falling asleep later and later, and then I don't want to get out of the bed in the morning. I don't feel like getting up to do yoga. I don't feel like getting up to be productive. I want to scroll on my phone. I want to drink 9 cups of coffee. Like I'm in a season of honestly self-sabotage every single morning. Like I just don't want to do anything. And I just keep trying to be like, okay, give yourself grace here. It is winter. You're technically in your hibernation bear season. Like this is very normal. So when it's really cold outside, it's normal to want to do much. So I just first want to say that, like, if you're sitting here like I'm listening to this, but I don't feel inspired, I don't feel clear, I don't know what I want, you're not alone. However, I do think it's valuable to start learning how to get crystal clear on what it is you want, and being unapologetic about that. So with that, I wanted to jump into just some actual things that you can do. I had written here, this is probably what I'll title it, but be unapologetic about your deepest wants and desires and get brutally honest with yourself if you've been avoiding some deeper inner truths. So what I want to first say is the best way to get clear for intentions is not to just write out what you want right away. I feel like the best thing that you can do is take 2023 in review and be like, this is something I'm going to walk you guys through too, but just taking a reflection and a minute to be like, what happened this year? How did I feel this year? Like, did I feel good? Did I enjoy everything about this year? Were there parts that felt really crappy? Are there parts I feel super proud of myself for, that I like accomplished really massive things that I didn't even really realize because I'm feeling like I'm in such a low right now that I forget that I had all of these amazing moments and accomplishments and wins throughout the year. And those wins could even be like, you felt joy, you felt peace, you felt love. Like, they don't have to be like, I earned $1 million. Like, they don't have to be accomplishments in the sense of like business or financial gain or anything like that. It can be like, you felt the most present you ever have. Oh my gosh, there's a path right outside my house I've never seen before. Sorry, I'm seeing this person walk and I'm like, it's literally right there. And I've never walked here ever. I didn't even know it existed. I drive 15 minutes down the road to get to a path, and there's one literally right here. Anyway, so in presence, when you actually sit, you may notice things that you've never noticed before. And so that could be something for you, because for me, that's huge. Like, I've had so many moments of peace and presence in choosing myself, like finally for the first time, actually choosing myself. And I owe this to one of my friends. He would always say to me, he's like, what do you want? Like, he helped shape this for me, you guys, being able to learn myself. It would be like, what do you want? And I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, this is what I want. He's like, no, you, like, you inside for you, what do you want? And he'd always challenge me and be like, what have you done for yourself? And I'm like, well, I'm like working out. He's like, that's not really for yourself, because that's still productive. So he would challenge me in all of these ways that would be really helpful. So get people in your life like this. And maybe if you're listening to me, it can be me. But like, what are you doing for literally you, only you? That could be like a hobby. Like, it could be like, you love to paint. I'm going totally off the tangent. I don't even know where I was going before I got so distracted by the person walking. But it could be like, you used to love to dance. You used to love to paint. You love to read, like things that are not necessarily a productivity point of like, I need to work out because I need to stay fit, and I have to cook because I have to make this for my kids, and I have to go to work because I have to do this for these people. Like, what are you doing that you truly enjoy, that it's like, it's not benefiting another person, it's truly only benefiting you? Does that make sense? So yeah, getting clear on that, and like just reflecting on your entire year of what you have done throughout this year, the wins, the highs, the lows, just getting really crystal clear on everything that has happened in the past year, reflecting on it for a minute. And then I will walk you guys through this too, but doing an exercise where you literally just brain dump everything. And then you circle everything that you loved that you want to bring with you into 2024, and cross out everything that you don't. So anything that you didn't love, anything that you were like, oof, that was shitty, I do not want to go through that again, or that's not the type of energy I'm looking to bring with me, you want to basically work on crossing those things out. But I'll go through that in a second when I lead you through the exact exercises I want you guys to do in order. But before I even do that, I want you to really start thinking about what you may be avoiding within yourself that you know is a truth, but you have not said out loud because it scares you. And maybe you feel guilty about it. Maybe you feel bad about it. So you're like, oh, I'm not going to go there. And you avoid it. Here's the thing. Your body knows your deepest, darkest truths, your deepest, darkest desires. Like, you can try to avoid it. You can try to run away from it. You can try to pretend it doesn't exist within your mind, but your body knows. And it's going to catch up to you eventually and impact your life in a negative way. Like, if you're not living your ultimate truth with your true desires, like, the only person you're negatively impacting is you. And I'm like, I hear so often, especially like certain posts that have gone viral. It's, again, you guys, these men are just, so many men right now. I'm just like, oh man, we've got some catching up to do to be met as equals again in terms of like our emotional awareness and all the things. But they get really mad about a woman putting herself first. And I think this has been so ingrained in us for so long that it's selfish and that our needs don't matter and it should be about everybody else. And this can be very confronting to people around you. So if you're someone right now that's learning to put yourself first and choose what you really want and stand in your own voice and your truth, this can be very difficult for some of the people around you who are not used to you being that person. And it can also be really challenging for people in your life or anyone in your life who's not used to seeing that. Like the women who they see that just like, they're like so nice. Those people that are so nice for everybody and they do everything for everybody else. Those are the ones that usually like lash out in massive anger, end up having cancer. I'm just telling you, because you're putting your own needs and you're suppressing them so deeply that eventually that's going to lead into a manifestation of disease within your body. It's so common. It's honestly sad. And it's because and especially if your throat feels closed, or like you talk kind of like this because you can't say what you really want to say from like the power of your belly and your chest. That's a problem that you need to overcome and start practicing saying what you really want. And maybe right now you don't feel confident to say what you really want to the people in your life. Maybe right now it's even hard for you to admit it to yourself. I get it. Trust me, I went through a season where I hoped that just anything I was thinking and feeling would just go away and magically disappear into the world, and I would just be able to go back to what was normal. And it never happened. And so I had to get crystal clear with my own truths, desires, and everything that I was feeling. And so what I want to say to you is the things that you're not happy with in your life right now, acknowledge them, because the only way that you're going to be able to change them and move through them and have this shift in your life is to, like, you first have to acknowledge that it even exists and it's there, and that there's a piece of you that's like, yeah, I'm not really happy with this. I don't really like it. And then at least from that place, you can do things to shift and change it. Doesn't mean you have to like abort mission and get these things out of your life right away, but like you could start taking the action steps to be like, okay, this is not working for me. If this is not working, what do I really want? Like if it was my deepest desire, what do I actually want? And then now you can come up with a plan on like, if you need to communicate that with someone else, or you need to make a shift in your life or career, you can do that. So an example can be like, you're miserable in your relationship. Every day that you come home, you feel this like weird tension and energy. You guys are not connecting. You're not communicating. You're not having sex. Or even if you are, you don't enjoy it at all and you dread it and you hope that it doesn't happen. Like there's people who pretend to fall asleep. There's people who avoid it. They stay in a different room. They're just hoping like, please just don't come near me and touch me. You guys, that's not normal. In a relationship, you should want to be intimate with each other. If you're in that phase right now, there's something deeper going on. It could be as little as you guys have not connected and communicated, so you don't feel open. I don't know why I'm even going here, but this really is on my heart apparently. But as a female, in order for you to want to be receptive to intimacy and sex with your partner, you have to open, physically open. If you don't feel connected, you can call it your yoni, your vagina, whatever you want to call it, won't open. And so if it's closed, your heart is closed, your body is tight because you don't feel connected to this individual, you need to build connection. And this can be really scary to say out loud, but like you need to learn how to have these conversations with your partners. If you're feeling this way, it's like, I'm feeling really disconnected. I don't know what's going on, but like, can we work on trying to connect in a different way before you jump in and try to go inside each other? Because like, if you're like this and closed, like you need to soften and open. And that can only happen when you feel connected to the other person. So don't force yourself into doing things for others because you think like, oh, if I just like do this for him, it'll feel better. Like, no, because I'm just going to tell you from experience, it can send you into a full rape response. Okay. I've had this happen to me, and it almost happened to me in my last relationship, but it happened to me in my previous one. I knew it was going to come in the last one. And so I was outspoken about that. What I mean by this is where your body starts to physically reject the other person, even though your mind isn't ready to admit that like this relationship is not right for you or something's off in the relationship. And I started having these responses where it literally felt like pins and needles inside my body. And at one time, I literally kicked him across the room because my body responded as if I was being sexually abused. And when I went to the doctors, this is where he was like, are you sure you haven't been sexually abused before? This is a telltale sign of what happens in someone's body after sexual abuse. And I was like, no, nothing's ever happened to me. I was not aware then, but like my body started to go through the same response. It remembers. So like, yes, I have been through sexual abuse. I was not consciously aware of this at the time, but when I overrode my internal body saying no, and I tried to just push through it, I went into a full-on rape response in my body. And then this almost started to come up in my second relationship. And this is where I had to be like, not my second, just my marriage at the end, because I didn't feel connected and I was trying to override it. And if you do this, like it can send your body into a major fight or flight where your body is saying no, 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 and you're trying to override it and not listen. And it's like, it can be detrimental to your relationship if it gets there. So this is why I'm saying have these conversations first, and this is going to be really funny when someone is listening to this and it's like, I thought I was getting intention setting, but like I'm talking about this. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like somebody needs to hear that that's going to end up listening to this. But basically getting clear on anything that's not working for you right now. So if you're not happy with your relationship, your sex life, your career, your job, your home, whatever you're not loving in your life right now, I want you to write it down. If you don't feel, I don't know, like if you don't feel satisfied in your relationship, especially sexually, do not, like, you guys, you should feel this is turning into a sex episode. You should enjoy it. You should feel satisfied. You should be orgasming. Like if you're having sex and you are not, like I hear this from people and they're like, I've never had, I'm like, what are you, why are you even doing this then? Like you 1000% should be. And this could come down to the fact that you don't know how to communicate your own needs and you're not confident in your body. And there's so many other factors, right, that could be leading to why you don't. But get clear with the fact that like you deserve that and you should be. So if you're not happy and you're like, I want to orgasm this year, or like, I want to actually enjoy sex, write it down. Because it's like, these are things that really, really matter and could really impact your relationship. Like imagine you guys both, I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but like imagine both of you enjoyed having sex and being intimate with each other. Like this matters. It can impact your entire life and your relationship massively. So if you're not happy in this area, write it down. It could also be your career. You're like, I hate it. I literally, because I this is again, someone who's like, no, I love what I do. And I'm like, do you? So if I paid you the same amount of money to go do this thing that you love, would you still do it? They're like, no, I would never. I'm like, then why are you saying that you love it? Like, I know we're supposed to like be grateful for everything, but it's like, you don't have to be grateful for things you don't actually like or enjoy. Get crystal clear and be like, yeah, I actually don't like this job. Okay, great. Now you've been honest with yourself and truthful. And now you can start to create a plan that's like an exit strategy. If you don't love it, okay, you're going to give yourself 6 months. You're going to start something that you actually enjoy, or you're going to go back to school, or you're going to find another job. And within 6 months, 9 months, a year, or by next year, you're not going to be in that job anymore because it's killing you or causing you stress or taking you away from your family, and you're not in the house for 12 hours a day. And really deep down, like, okay, yeah, I'm happy with it. But deep down, you're like, no, I would rather be at home with my kids. Be honest with yourself. Stop trying to be like, no, I love it. No. Like this happens too. Somebody's telling me something awful about, let's say it's their partner or their job. And they go, no, but it's really good. No, but I really do love it. I shouldn't even say that. Like, I really do love it. And I'm like, who are you trying to convince? Me or yourself? Because I can see right through this that like you're trying to convince yourself of this, but like, you don't need to do that. Like, just be honest with yourself. If you don't love something, write it down now. So it could be your home. You're like, I actually hate my house. I totally wish it was nicer. You don't have to settle. Like, I understand the position you're in right now could feel like, I don't have another choice. I don't want to leave my relationship. I don't have an exit plan for my job. So I feel like I have to love it to feel better about it. And like, I don't have enough money to live in the house I really want. So I feel like I'm stuck here, and I just find gratitude. Like, thank God I at least have a house, where I'm like, okay, great. Like, you can feel like, thank you for having a roof over my head, and desire more. You can desire more. So it's like, what is your dream house? What is your dream relationship? What is your dream sex life? Because we're on sex today. Like, what do you want? This can write it down. You can burn it after. I don't care. But get freaking clear with this and start asking yourself. You need to get to know yourself. Like, what do you want? I don't want you thinking about your sex life. I'm going to keep using sex, I guess. I'm thinking about what your partner enjoys, because he watches porn and wants you to do crazy shit. Like, if you don't like any of that, you truly don't like it, write down that you don't like it, and that your relationship is going to change, and you guys are going to have sex in a different way that makes you actually feel connected, and you're not going to pretend to be a porn star anymore. Okay? I don't know where that's coming from, you guys. Anyway, so get honest and real with what needs to take priority and begin to shift for you to live your absolute dream life. So it's like, this is where, when you come to a place of truth and understanding and looking at all of it and being like, wow, I'm not happy in these areas. Okay, great. Now you can create a backwards plan of like, how are you going to get to the place that you want to go? And what does that look like? Like, what steps could you take this year to improve things? If the house thing feels like that's impossible, I don't have any other option right now. Okay, let's scratch the house, but still get a crystal clear vision of what you would like it to look like, because that can still help you in like a 3, 5, 10-year plan, right? So maybe that's not your biggest thing right now. Maybe your biggest thing is like, I want to have a close connected relationship. Okay, great. You're going to start thinking of steps that like what would make it more close and connected. Would it be that you guys communicate together? Would it be that you stopped using your phones all the time together and you actually had time where you carved out and spent time together? Like, what is the thing that would make you feel closer and more connected in your relationship? Write it down. It doesn't have to be whatever he says or she says. It can be for you personally yourself. And then from there, hold on, I have it on my phone. Yeah, basically, just that you get to call the shots and you're in control of it all. So understanding that like once you get clear on what you aren't loving, you get to replace that with what would make it something that you love. And this is where you can start to be like, wow, okay, like there's a lot of stuff in my life I'm not loving right now, but if these things shifted, this would totally be like my picture perfect dream life as I see it right now. Because this will change as you evolve, change, and grow too. But just like as a first stepping stone. The next thing that I want you to do, so we've already said this, kind of like reviewing your year, writing down anything you felt or things you accomplished in 2023. So I already went over that, but this could be things like you experienced joy, jealousy, grief. You had a promotion in your business. You hit your best year yet. You had your lowest year yet. You had months that you felt really shitty about your business. You had months that you felt really good about your business. It could be like your relationship had its best moments ever, or like you almost had a divorce, or you did have a divorce. Like getting clear on just everything that kind of happened. And this is, like I said, so crossing out anything that you don't want to bring with you and circling everything that you do want to bring it with you into 2024, and then writing a release statement. So anything that you want to release, getting crystal clear to be like, I think I had an example. I don't know where I put that. It's on this paper. I'm just going to look quick because I think I wrote it down. But basically getting crystal clear on what you want to release and not take with you. So it could be like in 2024, I release blank, 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 as they don't serve me or my highest good. I'm grateful for the lessons that I've learned, but I'm ready to release all things that no longer serve me. And you could be like, and my highest self or whatever. So just being really clear, like anything you don't want to bring with you, thank you so much for like serving me and teaching me lessons, but like I'm ready to release you now. Thank you so much. Don't need to bring you with me into 2024. And then your intention setting statement would be like everything that you do want to bring with you. And this could be something like my 2024 intentions are blank, 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 blank. Anything that you want to bring in, anything that you want to like create the vision and the picture for what you want to see in this year to come. For me, I wrote some money ones. So it could be like my monthly energetic minimum is X for per month, and my annual earnings for 2024 will be blank. And then for my 2024 intention statement, I think, oh yeah, I was just writing an example for people. So it could be like in 2024, my business is thriving. I would say what that means, because thriving could mean a lot of different things. So like specify what thriving is to you. I feel calm, peaceful, but inspired and on purpose. I'm earning blank a month and this much annually. So you could keep it really short. Like once you write everything that you want to bring into 2024 and like your dreams, goals, aspirations for 2024, your intentions, and then keep a statement. Like you could keep this in your phone somewhere really easy for you to go to, where it's like a release statement that's like condensed, and then an intention statement that's condensed that you can always reflect back and be like, right, I'm leaving this in 2023. Like, I don't want to go there. And then also just trusting that like, if you need to be brought to a certain place, like, and even if, sorry, I need water. Even if right now you could be like, oh my God, I don't want to go through any of that pain again. This year sucked. Knowing that sometimes you're going to still get brought into it, and it could be for your own benefit, right? So this is where it's like you can set intentions, but you also can't control the outcomes. Like what's meant to happen is going to be happening regardless. That's where like you can get clear on what you want, but just trust that it's going to come to you in the perfect form and that you may not know best, right? Like trust whatever you believe in, God, source, universe, it's all the same thing, but like a higher power will give you exactly what you need. But it's your job to get crystal clear and know that like you can still create the life that you want. It's just how those things may happen might look different than the exact vision you have for it right now. So yeah, and then in terms of just once you've done those things, reflect with gratitude on the things you've accomplished and feel really good about. Like take a minute, you guys, like celebrate yourself for a second and be like, wow, I'm really proud of myself for X, Y, and Z, and like hand on your heart and feel good and like take a moment for that. Oh my gosh, something's in my throat. Yeah. But that's pretty much it. in terms of like how I would set them, and then just write them out in point form. Like I wrote a letter to myself last night for 2024. I wrote, what is the life? Okay, hold on. I feel like I wrote this down and it was actually so good. It's in this card deck. I think I want to read it to you guys because it was really, really good. So, what is the life I truly desire? That's just what I wrote as a question to myself. And then I went, okay, like, what do I truly desire? And I just started writing. So I wrote, like, the life I desire is to, and then I just allowed it to flow out of me until I was done. So again, this is where it's like getting really crystal clear on what that is for you. I wonder if it's here. Well, it was this card deck. If you're here, you can probably see it. It's called the Divine Feminine. And this card that I pulled was Lilith, the first woman. I'm the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life that I desire to live. If I can find this. Oh, I pulled it right to the right page, you guys. You can't make this stuff up. Okay. Hold on. Wait for a second because this is really good. Okay, so it was like what your soul selects. When your soul selects the card, what does it mean? And it says, what would happen if you left everything behind? She wonders what prevents you from getting to experience all that you desire. Is it you? Is it an idea of someone you have to be? Is it society's definition of what it means to be a woman? Lilith asks these questions and that sometimes never fully reach the light of consciousness. Lilith is unclaimed. She is the ruler of her body and soul, and she reminds us that we are too. Not only that, we have a sacred obligation to be the body's fierce protector. This comes into what I was saying about being really mindful if you're allowing things to happen to your body that you do not actually want, because you are your body's fierce protector. You have to give that to yourself. The same way that you have to protect your heart, your body, your soul. That is your job, and you have the ability to do that for yourself. If you always allow people to override any of those feelings you have within you, this is where it can start to create issues and complications in your life. And this is where you're going to get to a place where like you don't feel good. Like you don't feel, you're like, who the hell am I? You're going to end up having like all these ragey anger spurts. You're going to end up just like not being happy with where you are in your life because you're not honoring yourself and you're not honoring your truth. And so I really want this to be like the year that you declare you're going to be honest and truthful with yourself and like make it the year that's like full of abundance and blessings. And this doesn't mean you necessarily have to like leave a relationship, but it does mean you need to get the courage to speak up and say what's really on your mind in a way that's like loving. Like this is another thing as a female, speak your desires. Like typically men will want to help you reach those desires. If you come from it out of a place of like, I really desire XYZ, not out of like, you never do this for me. And so, like that's going to put people on defense. But if you're like, I really desire like orgasming, I'm on the sex again. And you could be like, I feel like I need this to do that. And if you don't know, like you might need to start incorporating some self-pleasure practices. I don't know. Like you need to get to know your body, but like you need to start thinking of sex as a sacred energy exchange. And I just feel like if partnerships could try to start doing this with each other, like it could transform your relationship. So this is the year where you're going to have great sex too. Anyways, if I were entirely equal to everyone else, to every man and every angel, what would I choose for my life? If I see myself as worthy, as the first woman ever created by the divine, what more would I ask for? Am I living the life I desire? Am I actually fulfilled sexually? This is where this is all coming from. Obviously, I read this last night. In my current relationship, are there aspects of my sexuality I haven't been able to face and voice? Refuse to settle. She answered all these questions within her and took action on the truth that she uncovered. She demanded that she meet with what she really desired, and she's here to demand that we all do the same. So the soul voice meditation was, what does the life I truly desire look like? And this is where you can write freely. You can ask that out loud and then sit in a meditative stance of just like eyes closed, hand on heart, and be like, what is it? And allow it to come up and move through you, whatever that truth is for you. So I'm so excited for this year. I already know this is going to be like the most abundant, amazing year. I can feel it. Last year was a wild, wild, wild. wild year for me. If you guys are on my email newsletter list, I sent out like my 12 biggest lessons. And if you're not, you should subscribe because I don't send emails very often, but usually I just kind of like write my heart out on there. But the things I desire for this year, you guys, I feel like it might be helpful, and I'll just speak from the heart and then I'll end it here just in case this is good for you guys. But last year I was really feeling like, where is this guy? Like, where is this man that I know is out there to like cultivate this relationship I want to be able to cultivate, to be able to like show people. And lately I have this feeling, I'm like, oh my God, I'm here to like revolutionize relationships. I don't know why that keeps coming through to me, but I'm like, once I'm able to like figure this out to like a science, I'm going to be relentless in my pursuit of helping every other relationship get there, because I'm like, there is just so much that's unsaid and unspoken between couples. And I'm like, it drives them apart, where if we were just honest and open and communicated and like showed each other appreciation and love and adoration for each other, we could build these like really close connections that would transform this freaking planet. So anyways, what was I gonna say? My desire. So for this year, I was like really wanting that. And now I'm like, I don't actually care. All I care about right now is like continuing to go deeper and deeper in me and like figuring out myself. And then I want to just have presence with my kids. I want to be able to bring in enough money that I'm like, I can fly them with me everywhere I go, so that I can stay for longer and continue to keep traveling, but not always feel like this rush to get back or this guilt that I'm away. So it's like they could be with me on trips, but I would need support and help to be able to like watch them, obviously, while I'm like in a training or doing different things. So I'm like, I want to be able to bring them with me more and more and more. So that's the goal, is to like, honestly, I want to fly first class everywhere we go. And I like looked it up the other day. I'm like, okay, if we were going to go to London all in first class, it was going to cost like $20,000 to fly. And I was like, okay, like I want to have enough money that like I can just do these things, and it's not a second thought, and it's super comfy because I'm like, I don't want to do a freaking 10-hour plane ride in a regular seat. Like I've had a bed now. I'm like, I don't ever want to go back to not having a bed, but I'm like, to have to buy it for my 2 little kids that are going to end up wanting to lay beside me. I'm like, that seems like a lot of money, but I don't even want to have to think about that. I want to be able to just be like, yeah, no problem. Like that's just what we're doing. So just again, that. And then also the other night, so before I even set my desires and intentions, I laid down, this is Christmas night. Okay. Cried my freaking eyes out, had like the biggest release ever, wrote a like 20-page letter to Daniel. I don't even know if I'm going to give it to him yet. I just like wrote it to get everything and all my feelings, to like release everything from that night. And then I wrote down, I'm like, what do you want? So like, even before I looked at these cards and started getting really clear on like my personal desires for 2024, I sat there and I went, I refuse to carry the financial burden ever again. I just will not. And it's crazy, you guys. Literally the next morning, I woke up to like these like business people, CEO type guys. After I also released that I don't want men in my life right now. Not that I don't want them. I'm just not pursuing. I'm like, you can come find me when you're ready. Show up in my life.
How do you put on Nintendo Switch?
I'll help you. Can you bring it?
Put it in the TV.
I'll help you on the TV in 1 minute. I'm almost done, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. You're just gonna lay beside me? Anyway, so I just finally was like, I release all of it. Like they're gonna come when they're ready, and he's gonna find me and he's gonna pursue me, and I don't need to do anything. I'm just gonna sit here and like be a queen. Hi, Maddox. And be like the prized possession that like when it's time and when the right timing is there and like the right person is there, like he'll find me and I don't need to worry about it. And I have full faith and trust whoever it's supposed to be will show up. And one time at my psychic appointment, Maddox is supposed to be 7. He's right here. But she was like, you're going to know your person. You're just like, this is my person, when like your youngest is about 7, which is like 2 years away, I think. Anyways, I digress. I got so distracted. Maddox, I need you to be for 1 minute. Okay. I'm almost done. So anyways, I wrote that out, and I just wrote like, I don't want to carry that anymore. And so part of me, because you guys know I want this farm and I want this property to be able to start the school. And I realized the other night that I was like, that doesn't have to be my first step. Like I want that, but I don't want to take that on again alone. Like I want to do that with somebody who has the same vision as me, and like we do that together. And he's like, yeah, caught your vision. Don't worry. Like we're doing this together. So I wrote that down, and I don't know if I said this because I got distracted, but literally the next day there's like business owners, CEOs, like these guys that are like messaging me and finding me on Instagram. I was like, this is so funny, because as soon as you release, you're being super patient. As soon as you release and surrender, like everything comes to you, but you have to actually release and surrender. Not like, okay, I'm surrendering. Like you have to actually let it go and surrender. And I did that. And so I'm like, this is so funny because this is always how it works. So I wrote that, and then I just wrote like, what else did I put in here? I wrote, oh yeah, like I'm like, I can just have a home that has a space to be able to start with a small group of kids. It can be within my home, but like let's say it's within a basement suite or something like that. Like it doesn't have to be like I don't have to construct everything first and like have this separate school. It's like it can start small within my same home. So I put that. I wrote a bunch about the person that I want to call into my life. So a piece of land. I wrote like business goals, income goals, and like continue attracting the people that are on my level as a partner. So those are my big ones. I had some other ones, but Maddox is in here and now I'm distracted, so I'm going to end it. But I'm wishing you guys the most abundant and blessed 2024. I'm excited for this year. I can't wait to see everything that everybody just, I feel like it's going to be a really good year. So hopefully this was helpful. Get clear on your intentions, get clear on your desires. If you want to send them, 1 minute, yes. If you want to send them to me, go for it. You can send them to me through email, reply on like the Spotify thing. There's always areas there. You can DM me. I don't know if it's helpful to share with other people. I would love to know what your intentions are for 2024. Share this episode with someone you know that could really utilize putting themselves first for once and like getting clear on their own personal desires and not just their kids and their families and their husbands and their partners or your wives. If this is a guy listening, because I know there are men that listen to this too. So I'm sorry, this is really like women focused, but you got it. You can set your own desires and intentions too. And we built a Lego plane and he just broke it. Anyways, love you guys. Share it, like it.
I didn't break it.
You can always find us on find us, me and Maddox. I'm posting these on YouTube and Spotify too if you like to watch the videos. Anyways, okay. Love you so much. Happy 2024. Talk to you soon.
I didn't break it, Mommy.